About 15% of the United States population. It's initiated by a lot of different things: diabetes, genetic defects, autoimmune disease. And it imposes enormous cost on the health system. It's actually, the federal government spends about 2.6% of the entire federal budget, not the healthcare budget, the federal budget on patients with CKD.
This drug, bardoxolone, it's designated an orphan drug. So in terms of the kinds of chronic kidney disease it treats, is it the kidney disease that you might get if you have diabetes as well as heart disease, or is it more specialized?
It actually, we've shown that it's active in 6 different forms, so 5 different rare forms of kidney disease. But our partner, Kyowa Kirin, is conducting a large study in diabetic CKD in Japan. And so we believe it has activity there as well.
So the promise is not only for these 5 rare forms, but also for this much broader, more commonly diagnosed kidney disease.
Yeah, correct. We've been pursuing the rare and most severe forms of the disease.
How much does this cost?
The drug?
Yeah, the drug treatment, yeah.
Well, our drug's investigational, so it's not approved at this point. We'll have pivotal data in the lead indication in the second half of this year. And then if that data is positive, then we'll be seeking marketing approval with a launch after that.
Specifically for these 5 rare forms of kidney disease, what is the total addressable market that you're talking about?
It's about 700,000 patients prevalence, in the United States. So even though each one is relatively small, it's a large population.
And in one of your trials, the Cardinal trial, you actually reversed 2 years of kidney decline. So these are dramatic results.
This is the remarkable effect. This is the first drug to treat the inflammatory basis of the disease. And patients that were treated for a year on our drug had a recovery of more than 2 years of kidney function. And these are patients that were chronically declining for years prior to coming into the study. Even more remarkably, when we remove the drug, they retain a significant portion of that. And that's strong evidence that the drug is actually helping the kidney structure to improve. And that's evidence that very strong evidence that it'll delay dialysis or a kidney transplant. And by the way, that's the approval endpoint for the drug.
We were talking briefly about how your company started. You started with a portfolio of various treatments in the investigational phase. But that goes to say that you have a pipeline, that this is not the only drug that you are working on. You've got others.
Yes, that's right. So in addition to the CKD opportunities, we also have a pivotal study in a terrible neuromuscular disease called Friedreich's ataxia. There are applications in neural disease. And we actually have a third pivotal study in a terrible cardiopulmonary disease called connective tissue disease-associated PAH.
And just to come back to the first drug that you talked about, if it comes to market, and I'm also curious why no one else has been able to come with this, do you have a ballpark sense of cost?
Well, the study is designed to determine whether the drug would prevent dialysis or transplant. So if it's positive, it would be disease-modifying therapy for a rare orphan disease and would be priced accordingly. And obviously, these are very expensive conditions to treat, maintaining people on dialysis or a transplant.